Andrew was so scared that he retreated 2 steps back. He had never seen Chase like this before. "Whoa, what are you gonna do?" He started to stutter. "I ought to teach you a lesson," he said in a deeper voice. "Don't ask probing questions about me. Sometimes it's better you don't know." With that, he walked away without looking back. Looking at Chase's departing back, Andrew was indignant, clenching his teeth and fists. "You're gonna threaten me? Do you really think that I'm easy to bully? Oh, just you wait." With a cold look in his eyes, Andrew thought of a plan. He would make him pay the price. Chase headed straight for Century Tower. In Tim's office, Chase sat on the sofa and asked him, "How's the birthday present that I asked you to prepare coming along?" "I finished it." Tim instructed the secretary beside him to take out a brocade box from the safe. The box was inlaid with gold wire. Just from its appearance, one can tell that the items inside were extraordinary. In a few days, it would be Patricia's father's 70th birthday. This gift was specifically prepared for him. However, the ostentatious wasn't Chase's style. He casually said, "I don't think gift-giving should be about showing off. Change it to a simpler package, or my mother-in-law will make a scene again." "Yes." Tim nodded and immediately ordered his secretary to carry out the order. When the box was replaced with a plain black one, Chase took it and prepared to leave Century Tower. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly thought of something. He turned his head and asked Tim, "When will Sasha arrive in Laudervale?" Hearing this, Tim lowered his head and said, "Miss Peterson is already here." "She's here?" Chase was surprised. "You've seen her?" "Yes," he nodded. "Miss Peterson came to visit me the moment she got off the plane." "How is she?" Tim didn't know how to put it. He didn't dare to provoke either of them. So after a long deliberation, he finally said, "Well, I can only advise you to be careful." Hearing this, Chase understood. He knew he'd hurt Sasha when he walked out on her. Now that she'd finally found him, her anger must be apoplectic. Chase has already decided to accept her anger. He deserved it for what he had done to her. He only hoped that whatever happened would remain between the two of them, and not involve Celia or Dottie. Otherwise, he and Sasha would have a serious problem. Chase didn't linger at the office. Tim left with him. At the same time, downstairs in the Century Tower lobby, Patricia was sitting in a corner, her hands and feet shaking as she prepared for a big move. "What am I doing here?" "I'm securing my future, that's what." Chase had supposedly saved Tim's life. Patricia would make sure she was properly rewarded. A rich person like Tim should be willing to part with $1 million or $2, she thought. After a night of thinking, Patricia had decided that she needed to come over and talk to him about the matter. She had been waiting in Century Tower for 2 hours, waiting for Tim to come out. Finally, the elevator opened and the man appeared. Patricia rubbed her hands together and stood up to charge forward. However, the next thing she saw made her freeze in place. Because someone else was at Tim's side. It was her good-for-nothing son-in-law Chase. And Tim seemed to be treating him as an equal. What? Seeing this scene, Patricia was so surprised that her heart jumped. Tim looked majestic and his walk was steady. He was everything a CEO should be. So why was he hanging out with Chase? Patricia couldn't believe her eyes. She took out her phone, shakily recorded the scene, and ran back home. As soon as she arrived home, she showed it to Jean. "Look at this! Is that Chase?" Jean, who was annoyed by her obsession, glanced up from his newspaper and went quickly back to reading. "Do you have nothing better to do with your day than follow your son-in-law?" "Listen!" Patricia shoved the phone in his face. "Look who's standing next to him." Only then did he take a closer look at the video. It wasn't until he saw the scene clearly that he gasped in surprise. This is Tim Sanders. Right?
Now you know what I'm saying. Chase is lying to us.
Gene sighed, shook his head, and said, "Why are you so obsessed about this? He said that he and Tim know each other, so what's the big deal? Don't be so suspicious."
The big deal?
Patricia couldn't believe his indifference.
He's friends with the richest man in the city. And look, he and Tim are acting like friends. Friends! There's no way Chase just did him a favor. They're close. Think of the resources he has access to.
Gene rolled his eyes at his wife. In her world, there was money, and then there was everything else. Enough! He flipped through the newspaper and said impatiently, "Chase is our son-in-law. Stop scheming to get his money. He's already given you more than he had any reason to. How much more do you want?"
What do you mean scheming?
Patricia was infuriated.
How much has that piece of made us suffer in the last few years? How many times has he embarrassed us? Is it wrong to want compensation for our trouble? Let's call him. I want him to explain it to me.
He wasn't willing to go down this rabbit hole, so he grumpily said, "If you want to scheme, scheme on your own. I don't want any part of it." Patricia rolled her eyes at him and was very annoyed. However, the more Gene thought about it, the more he felt that something was off. Tim's attitude towards Chase was clearly more than a simple acquaintance. The more Patricia thought about it, the more upset she felt. She finally picked up her phone and called her son-in-law. Clearly, he had a lot of money hidden away, of course. At this moment, Chase had arrived at the hospital. However, as soon as he stepped into Dottie's room, he received a call. As soon as he picked up, Patricia ordered,
Chase, come to our home immediately. I have something I need to talk to you about.
He said reluctantly, "Mrs. Samson, I just got to the hospital. Can't we talk about whatever this is later?"
I'm not asking. Get over here in 15 minutes or you're dead to me.
After saying this, she hung up. Chase was so frustrated, but he didn't want Patricia to bug him all day if he refused. He apologized to his daughter and then quickly left the hospital and caught a taxi. The moment he entered the Samson house, he saw that Patricia's expression wasn't right. He asked, "What's wrong? Why do you need to see me so quickly?"
I need to know.
She shrugged and said bluntly,
Are you and Tim friends?
Chase was a bit confused. She'd called him here in such a hurry just to ask about this? He frowned and replied, "Didn't Mr. Sanders explain this to you guys? Do you need me to call him again?" Patricia placed the video she captured in front of him and asked,
How do you explain this?
He frowned. He didn't know when she had taken it. If Patricia was following him, that could mean all kinds of problems. After thinking for a moment, Chase suppressed his worry and explained, "That's no big deal. I went to his company for lunch and I thanked him for his help in getting me out of jail. After that, he personally walked me out. Is there anything wrong with that?"
That's it?
Patricia crossed her arms.
Let me tell you, Chase, if you've gotten a secret stash of money...
He was speechless. Truly the only thing she cared about was money. He said impatiently, "If I told you that the entire Century Group was mine and that Tim was my employee, would you believe me?"
Of course not,
she said impolitely.
Do you have anything more stupid to say?
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.